Hey, everybody, welcome to Let's Be Blunt, a podcast about living and loving everything Blount County, Tennessee.
We're your hosts, Brad Hepner and Eric Rice, the property dads at LeConte Realty, and we're excited to talk more about this great place we call home. All right. This is our first soiree, is that the right word? Into
I don't know. It depends on where you're going with that.
into doing in-person video.
Yeah, on location.
So,
Yeah.
Cody's going to be our test guy, but this is the first time.
Is there a better person to have our test guy?
Well, here's how we met. He and I met. I'm standing at Bella, and he said, "Are you one of the Let's Be Blunt guys?" I'm like, seriously?
You've heard that before?
Did somebody pay you to say that? But
awesome.
Yeah, so we started talking, and Cody McCoy, I don't know what
owner proprietor
of, if you've been into Greenway Village, we've talked about it before. We talked about it with James Tomachek when he was kind of in his head what he wanted to do. But if you've ever been to Foothills Mall, the Great American Cookie Company was there all the time, and you go in there now and it's not there. It's like, hey, guess what? It's here.
It's in Greenway Village.
It's in Greenway Village alongside Marble Slab Creamery.
Yeah.
And both are owned by Cody McCoy.
Yeah.
So welcome.
Appreciate you all having me.
Yeah. And not only that, we're sitting in our studio today is in one of the two Airbnbs above the Great American Cookie Company and Marble Slab. And we're in the, let's see, this is the ice cream parlor
Penthouse
suite. And then what's the other one?
The other one is Pedal Peak Retreat.
Pedal Peak Retreat. It's a bicycle theme. So this one was the ice cream theme, and it's fantastic. We're going to get a little bit of video so we can plug it into the podcast. But anyway, thanks for joining us. You got a lot going on, and so we appreciate you being here.
Definitely been busy, and appreciate you all coming by as well.
Yeah.
And so we like to start off with a little history. You are now a Blount Countyan, I take it? You live here?
Yes, I do. I live on a farm in Louisville. Was actually raised here. My family moved here from Fairfield Glade in 1998. Went to school right down the road, played sports, did go away for college. But after a few years after that, I found myself coming back home.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to the Citadel down in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Nice. And so were you there for a while after school, or did you come back right away?
I did my 4 years down there. Originally was supposed to go military, but we weren't in any active war, so they were downsizing at the time. So I kind of fell back on my business degree and spent quite a bit of time figuring out how I was going to utilize that.
As we all do.
Yeah.
I had quite the blueprint for myself, and then second semester, senior year, my contract was stripped. So then I spent some time kind of figuring out, well, what do I really want to do with this business degree? And I mean, even to this day, it may seem like I know what I'm doing, but I'm still figuring it out as we go.
Again.
For the rest of your life.
As we all are.
Right. For the rest of your life. That's good. So growing up in Blount County, what was it like for you? Also, I'm going to have you scooch just a little bit closer.
Yeah, Blount County was a childhood that I did not realize was as great as it was until I moved away. So I had a great childhood. My father, when he got close to retirement, wanted to buy a farm and become a farmer in retirement. So we lived all the way out in Louisville. Had the privilege of going to school here in Maryville, and the community itself, the people that I was surrounded with, kind of is what drove me to want to go to school, to one of the city schools. And there's honestly nothing I would trade as far as what I got to experience in my youth. I mean, I had a phenomenal education program, great group of friends. Sports was pretty prevalent in my life, and I was very fortunate to be blessed with some of the best coaches that we've seen in this area.
What sports did you play?
So from middle school through college, I ran track and played football.
Oh, nice.
You did both in college too?
I did.
That's very
wow.
Good. What were your tell us about your football. We want to know all the sports, so tell us about your football positions, and also what'd you do in track? What were your events?
So high school, sophomore year, started off as running back. And then my junior year, we started off the game against Alcoa. It was Randall Cobb's senior year. And our linebacker got hurt, so I wound up playing both ways. And then all 5'6" of me, the coaches decided, let's make you linebacker permanently.
Perfect.
So
They won't even see you coming.
Right. So played linebacker for Maryville High School. And then I ran track. I did my two biggest events were the 4x1 and the 100-meter dash. And for a while, I held the school record on laser for the fastest time, but these new kids are something different.
I mean, the training that they go through.
I saw a kid that broke my record 3-4 years ago, and it wasn't just once. He took up the top 10 leaderboard with 10 different races. So
wow.
It was fun while it lasted. But
it was. Yeah, it's cool. Something to say still. So good for you.
Yeah, and then decided to do both in college. Unfortunately, football only lasted 1 year. It was very disheartening playing for a program that was not what I would feel to be the equivalent of a Maryville or now Alcoa. I mean, we had less fans go to the games and not a big fan of our coaches. And it came down to, what did I really want to do? Track, I had a great year, made all conference my first year as a freshman. And I was pursuing an Air Force contract. And even the school itself, I was very, very happy with. So after my freshman year, I was very stretched as far as what all I could do. So I decided to stop with football, which was one of the harder decisions I've made, and focus more on my Air Force career. Continuing track. Track's a little bit of an easier workout.
Yeah.
You could be done in 20, 25 minutes versus football, which takes an hour, 2 hours.
And you don't get beat up.
Don't get beat up.
Yeah.
I was very undersized for college.
Yeah.
Still had fun, but...
Linebacker in college too?
No. They actually brought me on as a running back in college.
Okay.
So I lost quite a few looks out of high school because of the position change, but the ones that did maintain recruitment with me were for running back.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think we've heard that several times, people that have grown up here and gone to school here, just the support that they've gotten from the community, it's almost this idyllic growing up, and then you go off to college, and what we've talked about a lot on this show is coming back with your experiences. You go away and then you come back with your experiences and then dive into the community and be that person for somebody that, was for you when you were growing up,
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to the Citadel, you come back, like you said, business major, the military thing's not going to work out. What then?
Started off trying to maintain residency in Charleston. It was a beautiful city. I really hated moving away from there, but with it being such a big tourist town that it's become, I just couldn't afford living there. I was started off with insurance sales, which was not the most desirable job, but it definitely taught me a lot as far as sales. I mean, we were still door knocking people in 2014, 15, which is something that would seem pretty obscene. I gained a lot of experience from that, but then I just realized that's not what I would like to do with my life. Came home, decided to work for Pilot Flying J headquarters. I was very lucky to be able to work out with some members of the Haslam family through high school and college, and they were able to get me in. And then after about 3 or 4 years there, the company started to change. They had sold their shares to Berkshire Hathaway, so Warren Buffett was in the process of maintaining control. And then at the same time, my uncle, who is now currently my business partner for this new venture down here, was in the process of selling his company up in Detroit. So during that transition, I actually moved up there, lived there for 3 years to help with that transition and kind of be involved in what goes on. And then after the new company was established, it got to a point to where, well, I did what I was supposed to, not necessarily finding true happiness. And Detroit is by no means Maryville, Tennessee.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I miss the pro sports. I miss the airport that flies everywhere directly. But outside of that, no, it's pretty hard to beat being in East Tennessee. And, before I had moved back, there was probably 4 or 5 years prior to that, I met with the previous owner of Great American Cookies and was just picking his brain. We sat down at Subs and Such, asked him all about franchising, what's the ones to look for, what's the ones to avoid. He was more experienced in the food industry and was talking to me about margins with cookies and how that compares to other items like pizza, and kind of made it very appealing for me to do a little bit more research. So near the tail end of my career up in Detroit, he had given me a call there was an opportunity for us to go in together to purchase 3 stores, which I was on board with from the beginning. But fast forward 6 months as I'm planning my transition, he got to a point to where he was ready to retire. So it moved to, how would you like to buy my stores? So came back for a couple weeks, worked in the store, made sure it was something that I thought I would enjoy and be able to learn and take on. And from there, I decided I wanted to purchase the Maryville location and settle down back at home.
So he owned the Maryville location?
So he owned multiple. He owned, at one point, Tanger up in Sevierville. He owned Westtown Mall, Easttown Mall, and Foothills Mall.
Wow.
And then by the time I had moved back, he had sold 2. So all he had left was Westtown and Maryville. And at that point, I was honest. I said, look, I'm not really sure what I'm doing. This is my first time going into franchising. Let me just start with one, see if I can get comfortable, and from there I can kind of learn. So I just went with the Maryville location, and I'm glad I did so, not because Westtown was a bad store or anything, but it's given me opportunity to grow this one business and kind of diversify my portfolio outside of just franchises.
So when did you add the marble slab, or is that connected to cookie company?
So we have the same parent company.
Yeah.
It was September of 22 is when I purchased. And I think it took me maybe 3 months of paying rent to realize that that's not really what I want to do anymore. I have some variables on my P&L that are larger than the rest, and that's to include product cost, employees or labor management, and then rent. And from there, it's like, well, one of these 3, it's not that I'm necessarily looking for something cheaper, but can I purchase? So I took the opportunity to meet some local developers. Very, very fortunate to meet James Tomaszak when I did. So it was probably 4 or 5 months after the original purchase of the company. I met James, signed a letter of intent, already reached out to corporate and purchased the rights to Marble Slab Creamery, knowing that my expansion was to include them. So this project's been at least 3 years in the works. I've had the rights for Marble Slab for 3 years, but was not open until September.
Okay. Wow. And man, that's a long time to wait.
Well, I thought it was a long time, and then when I met with James, and he said he's been working on it for 12 years.
Well, that's true.
I felt a little better, but still, it was brand new development, brand new building. We're meeting all our new neighbors, trying to figure out who's best placed where, and I mean, even the street itself wasn't established. So when we first moved in, we're fighting Apple and Google to make sure that people know Greenway Village is actually a real street.
Do you even exist? So do you own this building?
I do. Yeah. I was very fortunate to be able to purchase this plot and building and utilize James and some of his contacts to help kind of bring my ideas and thoughts into design.
So you did a lot of research into Great American Cookie Company. You met with the guy. You were very knowledgeable. Where did the marble slab idea come from?
So it was kind of 2 different angles that really led me to want to do marble slab. The more recent one was when I purchased Great American. The parent company was really pushing for all of the stores to move out of malls. 1, to lower their rent, and 2, to incorporate Marble Slab Creamery, which in turn should be your new walk-up traffic in comparison to the mall. So we still maintain our book of business with cookies and cakes, and the way we fight the loss of walk-up traffic is to add ice cream, which is more of a destination. And then it was probably 6, 7 years ago. A good friend of mine, Chris Jordan, went to high school together. He and his wife, Kylie, got married down in St. Augustine, Florida. And just happened to be walking around downtown one night, walked past a mom and pop ice cream parlor, and I look upstairs and I see people hanging off the porch, which was not accessible from the restaurant. Did a little research and I realized that was an Airbnb on top. Still have it saved in my phone. And then when this opportunity came about, I never forgot it. And I said, well, I want to put some short-term rentals on top because I feel like it'd be a fun way for people to be able to stay and explore.
Absolutely.
Go out and do what you need downtown, and then when you come home, you've got ice cream and cookies waiting underneath that you can just take straight upstairs.
And an unbelievable location. I mean, you can, and especially with all of the things being added to downtown, you've got all of Greenway Village, but you're very accessible to Broadway, everything downtown. I've
already had a few guests that have utilized that opportunity. One of my very first guests ever that stayed here, they were from Canada.
Okay.
And they went downstairs. They saw the map that I had made outside by my bike rack, and they were able to plan an entire evening off of those routes. So their first night, they called and made a reservation at Walnut Kitchen, and they took the Greenbelt all the way there. And then after dinner, walked all the way back and said it was one of the best evenings they've had.
That's great.
That's very cool. And it's like you're catering to that's part, giving them unbelievable service.
Right.
Is just as part of being a great business, isn't it?
Yeah. Personally, I would love for everyone to spend their time at Greenway Village, but I also understand people like to explore.
Yeah.
And there's so many great things that downtown offers, especially in the future with so much development and people investing what they feel to be the next big thing. So it's a great way for families to be able to spend time downtown. We've actually got a couple wedding parties that have rented these out, planning to use DSB as their rehearsal dinner.
Cool.
So it's just kind of, we all mesh well together. And even outside of Greenway Village, there's not too much people butting heads with each other as far as fighting for certain industries.
Yeah. What are the challenges that you have as a small business owner in downtown Maryville, Blount County, with all of the things going on, people coming to Blount County, construction, finding people to work, what are some of the challenges that a small business owner has these days?
I think everyone that's listening that is a small business owner would agree that employment is one of the harder things to find. I have been very fortunate. I do have some great employees. I have had some great employees, but there's always that struggle of finding someone that wants to work, and it's not because their parents want them to, or teaching them, keep your phones in the back. We don't want our phones up front.
Right.
One, it's distracting. Two, it's a health code violation to touch it then serve someone. And the thing that really blows my mind is today's day and age, when someone turns 16, it's no longer, let's skip the first half of school and get our license. They just kind of wait.
Yeah.
So it's an adjustment in learning how to work with a new generation. And of course, you're always going to have people say my generation was the best, and that's going to go on for eternity.
Sure.
The older one's always the best.
Yeah.
So adapting and learning how to work with this style of people. And again, some are absolutely phenomenal to where they don't even fit in this category, but hiring can be difficult. Finding the right people can be difficult. At the end of the day, I think cookies and ice cream is easy. Very, very easy to appeal.
Yeah.
I mean, you will have some bad customers here and there, but for the most part, this has been a great area to open. Honestly, the biggest struggle would be employment.
Because there's a difference of people that want to work and want to get paid.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of them just want to get paid. So I'll just show up, like you said, with my phone and stand there.
Yeah, and it's hard to try and teach them too, because they'll sit there and argue like, well, can I get $1 raise? Can I get $1 raise? And it's like, well, I'm not opposed to that, but when you work 8 hours a week, that's $8 on your paycheck before taxes. So you're really not doing yourself a favor.
Make yourself about $5. So
Right. If you want money, you got to have hours.
Yeah.
And that's what it was always for me when my first job was. Just there's no opportunity in raises, opportunities in how much you work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to sound like an old guy, but I am an old guy. I mean, just kids, I don't envy kids growing up today. And I don't envy parents with young kids trying to raise kids today. I mean, it's hard. It's different. It's harder than, I wouldn't want to go back and start raising kids right now. So I do know that there is a difference, but yeah, once they get to that working age, it's different from when, we were kids. Like I was working when I was 13 or 14 years old, and I could not wait to get my license. It was just a different time. Like and there are some kids that I know in college that still hadn't gotten their license.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm like, I mean, how do you get around? How do you do it? But they figure it out, I guess.
So, what else is on the horizon? Anything else? I mean, are you content to just kind of develop this?
At this point, I am very content. I still want certain things to kind of figure out. We opened in September, which was, maybe a month, 2 months of decent weather.
Yeah.
And then we went straight into winter. So
Yeah.
I dealt with our first off season, which I am anticipating to be a little worse than usual because we didn't have all of our neighbors open.
Mm-hmm.
once Valentine's Day got here, that's traditionally a good weekend for us, but that was also the weekend that DSB opened.
Yeah.
And I will say they have helped us out tremendously. So in addition to them and the new businesses to come, I am a little more hopeful as to what things will look like in addition to this summer. So as far as projects in the future, I would love to always be involved in doing something, but I think responsibly, I should focus on this and kind of make sure these things are fine-tuned, make sure that the business itself is doing what it needs to do. The employees I have the resources they need. They feel comfortable in running the store. Just making sure everyone from employees, community, corporate, that this is fine-tuned before I even think about doing something else.
Well, it may be different, but it looks like it's running pretty well. I mean, it looks, and we're just waiting for people. We're just waiting for that time when people are out a little bit. I mean, I came out in jeans and a jacket today, so it's not
cool
not
today.
Quite super warm weather yet, but it's coming.
It's the weather. You can tell the difference on days where it's warm versus a little bit more chilly.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done everything from advertising in the newspaper, advertising through social media, now podcast, and we still have people that just
it'll blow up now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we've tried every avenue of advertisement, and we still have people saying, "Oh, we had no idea you're out here.
Yeah, are you still in the mall?
Why didn't you advertise?" And it's like, well, do you watch the news or social media or newspaper? I mean, we've tried every avenue.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing too, because I do like seeing the shock factor of people walking out, and it's not even necessarily our building; it's what James has put together as an entire village. Being able to look out the window and see a beautiful courtyard with fellow business owners and a fountain is pretty hard to beat every day.
Mm-hmm.
More than once, I have like my kids will come to town and they hadn't been here in town in a while, so I'll be like, "Hey, let's just drive through here," and they'll be like, "Where did that all come from?"
Right.
Yeah.
And there's people that live here, like you said, that are still doing that. That's like, I didn't know all this was up here, but yeah, the opening of DSB,
Yes.
will help a lot. And there's there's a wine bar in the future, is there not?
Yes. So they are currently, I know they're in their drawing phase. They may be getting renovation soon, but the building next to us is going to be an all-day cafe that turns into a wine bar in the evening.
That'll be good.
And that
be
should
really
be
nice.
beneficial.
Yes. I mean, foot traffic is what you're looking for, right? I mean, people
Absolutely.
coming down here. And for those of you that know the Greenbelt, I mean, Greenbelt, Greenway, it comes right through here now, which is also nice.
Yeah, we've actually, we call it our paving system, the courtyard, and then my bike rack actually cuts into the Greenbelt.
Yeah.
So I've had a few weekends already, actually quite a few weekends, where I'll look out and I'll see families have taken their bikes from their house, rode the Greenbelt just to come get ice cream and cookies.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have noticed that more and more people. We were here this weekend. Actually, my son and I played at the Foxhole for
So
a
were
couple
we,
hours. Were you?
I was there like an hour before you.
Oh, were you?
Nice. He told me you were coming. Ryan told me you were coming.
Yeah, we and while we were there, the 2 hours, I bet we had 4 people just pop in and say, "Oh, didn't know this place existed." Just checking it out, So people are definitely, the news is out. The news is starting to get out. So hopefully we can drive more and more folks up here because it's a gem.
Yeah, and I agree. So, what else can we do for you?
How can people get reserve one of your Airbnbs? That's
So they both are available on Airbnb.
okay.
If you were to ask me the direct link, I don't know if I'd be able to tell you
Okay,
that.
but Airbnb, they can find it.
Airbnb, they can find it. They're both heavily themed out.
Yep.
Our unit that faces over the courtyard, that's our ice cream cookie theme, very bright colors. And then the one that has a patio facing over the Greenbelt, that's the one we went with, mountain and biking themed.
Yep.
So Pedal Peak Retreat, Ice Cream Parlor, Penthouse Suite, those are what you would look up in this area. Or if you happen to be by the store, I've got business cards downstairs that have QR codes on both sides for each unit to make it very accessible to rent. Availability, kind of hit or miss. I will say for the month of March, between the 2 units, we had 15 different groups rent.
Oh, wow.
So we tend to stay a little busy, although this upcoming month, it's a little bit more scarce. But again, I'm been very happy with the way everything's been performing. I didn't know what I was getting into when I was doing Airbnbs. I just kind of told myself, let's going to do it. It's a great way to offset cost, and we'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
And it goes back to everything I've done with this project. I've just been very blessed to find the correct people to work with to make myself look better than I really am. Yeah. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm happy about. I found the right people to make everything work, even from management with my employees to make sure the store runs while I figure things out. The developer, James Tomaszak, was great. Pinky Mystery, you guys have had her on
I know
before.
her, yep.
She did the mural for me downstairs. She did the map for me. That in itself is rewarding every day, just going outside and seeing 3 or 4 families take pictures in front of it.
Yeah.
So I've just been very blessed to find the right people to kind of put me in the position I'm at right now.
And I think like it's kind of what you mentioned for the cookies and the ice cream, is that as people find out about it, it'll grow. I think this more so. I mean, once people find out that this is here and they stay in it, I see people coming back all the time.
Fighting for a space, fighting for reservations.
So we opened in November, end of November, and I've already had one guest that he's been back 3-4 times already. So we're starting to get a few of those already.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Fantastic. All right. Well, anything else we need to share? That's what we always end up say, hey, what have we not talked about that we need to?
Is there what about social media or websites or anything like that? Do you have names for them?
Yes.
All right. So if they want to get in touch with, is this for the
So we have
Airbnbs?
one for both. So currently we have 2 Facebook accounts. One's Marble Slab Creamery, one's Great American Cookies, and that's Greenway Village for both of them if looking it up. And then if you want to connect with us on Instagram, we have one for downstairs, and that one's called Greenway Cookies and Cream. Or if you wanted to look at upstairs, whether it's photos of the units, events going on, new things we've incorporated, that one is called Greenway Village Stays. So there's 4 different accounts, but the 2 Instagram accounts will be the predominant one as far as what's uniquely going on downstairs and upstairs.
Ah, nice. So good to know. And they're QR codes and all that. Like you said, you have business cards, or
I have business cards downstairs for the Airbnb links. I don't have one for our social media. Yeah. Those are just in the units itself.
So they should just come get cookies and ice cream and then pick up a business card.
That would be great.
We're probably going to have to get cookies and ice cream before we leave. But I mean, it's noon somewhere, right?
Is there a cutoff for ice cream?
10:30.
Come on.
Never a cutoff.
Breakfast.
You guys are more than welcome to sample as much as you would like. So even though we're a franchise, our ice cream is actually made in-house. Everything is local. We buy our dairy from Mayfield once a week, and it's usually myself or one of the managers in the back. We've got a giant machine, and we just make it all fresh. So everything is fresh. Big. We yield one of the highest butterfat percentages in the country at 14%, which is why you'll taste it's a lot more creamy than most.
Yeah.
So it's something I was very glad to bring back to the community, but man, does it make it tough making it in the back to not have a spoon on hand just to make sure every flavor tastes right.
I was wondering how you look pretty fit still. I wondered, I think I'd be 300 pounds easy.
I should be, but it's a matter of just burning myself out as soon as I can so I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah. So, well, Cody McCoy, I mean, we've appreciated all of this, like having us here and
hosting us.
Yeah, it's been great. So,
well, I definitely appreciate you all coming out, and I've listened to a few of your episodes, so it's kind of nice to actually be a part of it as well. So,
well, that's great.
You guys have been great for the community, and I appreciate you helping spotlight us as a business.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
All right.
Look at us.
That's very cool.
We're professionals here.
We are professionals. Don't think we're not.
Cody left, so we thought we'd just hang out.
Cody's making cookies and ice cream, so you guys
we're hanging out in the ice cream
parlor penthouse.
Yes,
this place is cool.
We're gonna show a little video of it if we haven't already.
Yeah, yeah, that was very cool. I mean, I was thinking when he was talking, you could really spend all day, maybe several days in Greenway Village, because you wake up. Of course, you're either in the ice cream parlor penthouse, or the I gotta remember the bike one. But anyway, you wake up here, you go over to Southern Grace Coffee, where you have one of their world famous sausage balls and a great cup of coffee for breakfast. Yeah,
I've not had the sausage ball.
So good, they're so good. They've got other options too, but the sausage balls are crazy. You take a little walk on the Greenway, come back, have a mid-morning cookie.
Yeah,
for some, yeah, for you. I mean, you got to have a little energy,
little sweet. Oh, energy. Yeah. That's what it is. Energy.
And then you go play golf. Go play 18 at any golf course you want to at the Foxhole, and then as soon as the cafe and wine bar is open, have a little lunch. Take another walk because you're going to have to walk that off,
or come back and take a nap.
That's
here.
Exactly. Yeah. Sit on the porch, have a drink, and then DSB for dinner. Mm-hmm. And let me just tell you, it took us a little while to get in, but DSB, fantastic. It's amazing.
All right.
And then afterwards, of course, if you're not full, which you might be, come back, have a little ice cream, and maybe then a glass of wine out on the you could spend all day here.
And yeah, that entire description that you just went through is a 50-yard radius.
Yeah, exactly. It's unless you do a little bit of walk, but the Greenway's right here. I mean, you hook up with the Greenway, and there's walking through downtown Maryville and out into Alcoa if you want to, riding bikes out there.
Bikes, there's, like he said, there's really a bike rack right in front of. You basically work off your cookies and ice cream.
That's right. James has done a great job down here, but these individual business owners are top notch. They're really, really
and there's more to come. It's going to be
impressive people. It's
a great little place. I remember when I'd have to look back when we talked to him. It was just kind of an idea. And I remember coming to the groundbreaking, the big tent he had out there. They did a groundbreaking with a bulldozer.
Yeah.
It was a groundbreaking.
Yeah.
And here we are. So good for him. Good for all of them.
Coming to fruition.
Good for us.
Good for everybody. Yeah, it really is. If you haven't been down here, honestly, come down and save room for cookies and ice cream because this place is really, really neat. So, do we have any exciting real estate news?
Other than exciting.
Nothing really exciting. But here's what's exciting is we have Michelle McCauley from Movement Mortgage to give us a little mortgage update.
Hello, this is Michelle McCauley with Movement Mortgage, and I am here with your mortgage market update. Buyer activity is picking up as rates have dipped slightly over the last few weeks, and mortgage rates are hovering around the low 6% range, which is showing a slight improvement after a few weeks of declines. While rates are still elevated, we're seeing more stability in the market, and inventory is improving and giving buyers more options. The key takeaway is opportunities are opening up for those buyers who are ready to act strategically. Remember to get pre-approved up front so that you know your buying power, and as soon as the right home hits the market, you're ready to act fast.
The studio audience approved.
Studio audience, even in the Airbnb here.
Where do we hide them? Where do we hide them? You don't know.
A couple of months ago, we had a guest, lady I used to work with, just doing phenomenal stuff. Just a good Christian lady, did in the kitchen with Mama Mel. We go back and find the Mama Mel episode. We got a very sad text message this week that she had passed away, and we wanted to at least mention it and acknowledge it. So
yeah. What a tremendous lady. We didn't know her for long. I didn't know her for long. But it was, I don't know how many conversations I've had with her and about her since we had her on the show. But it was always, people just thought she was just a gem of a person, just this lovely person. And I always thought, what makes her so successful? And it's like if when you sit and listen, this is the best thing that I could come up. When you sit and listen to Bob Ross and do his paintings, and you just be amazed by his paintings, but soothed by his voice. She was sort of that way with her kitchen. Like it just, the things that she did in the kitchen were just, she just made it look so easy.
Yep.
And her voice was so soothing, and something made you feel like home. And we are going to miss.
We are. Our prayers are with
Mel.
her family and friends, and lots of friends. Her daughter posted something on her Instagram page, and hours after she posted it, I think there was like 500 comments of people that said so. I just wanted to mention
She was a
that.
beloved
So,
figure. Yeah.
but I guess that, that being said, that's a wrap on another episode.
That's right. Join us in 2 weeks for our next one.
Who will our next guest be?
And what topics will we cover?
And what's changed in the real estate market?
Well,
Let's find out. The fact that we pulled that off.
nice. Thanks for listening to the Let's Be Blunt podcast. If you have questions or guest ideas, or if you'd like to sponsor a segment of our podcast, please send us an email at the Let's Be Blunt podcast at gmail.com.
I'm Brad Hepner,
And I'm Eric Rice.
and we call ourselves the Property Dads. As local realtors, we want you to know and love this community as much as we do. If you have questions about real estate, don't hesitate to call us at LeConte Realty at 865-268-4180. We'll be happy to help.